it play and call it work.
Why do I love Blood Angels? This is why I love Blood Angels. When I first started to get into collecting these guys a number of years ago, I was very inspired by their playstyle, which was fast. They can fly and soar on the wings of Sanguinius that they were blessed with, and it was just a completely different playstyle than the Chaos I was used to. Although at the same time, they played very Chaos-like, because in my mind, these guys are pretty much Chaos. They just have the stamp of a Space Marine to masquerade what they truly are, which is beings that are suppressing a thirst, a rage that they must unleash on the battlefield. What you're looking at is a total of 20,527 points. It's a combination of mostly Blood Angels. You got some Death Company there as well. You have a couple of successor chapters. There's Flesh Terrors and Lamenters to flesh out the rest of the collection there. This is the MiniWarGaming Studio Army, an army which I've been collecting for a good 6 to 7 years. Starting with the Tactical Marines here, we got 97 in total. Why 97? Do not ask me. My OCD is very much bothered by this. One day, the extra 3 will be added. There's a combination of power swords and flamers and grab weapons. We got some missile launchers and plasma guns and melta-guns. Now for the jump-packed Marines, there are 80 Assault Marines and 20 Vanguard Veteran Marines. Death Company, we got 55 in total. There's 25 with jump packs and 30 normal. 28 Devastators, majority being missile launchers, and we have some las cannons and plasma cannons as well. Primaris Marines, we have 10 Hellblasters, 20 Intercessors, and 6 Inceptors. Here you're looking at 40 Terminators. We have 25, we'll call them regular Terminators, even though they're not regular. They're pretty special guys. And we got 15 Assault Terminators. Bikes and Speeders. We have 3 bikes, 1 attack bike, and 10 land speeders. Dreadnoughts. We got a couple Death Company Dreads. We have a handful of Furioso Dreads and a Librarian Dreadnought. Total of 8 Dreadnoughts. Tanks. We got a couple Razorbacks. We have 4 Bale Predators, 4 Rhinos, 3 Predators, your regular Preds, and 3 Vindicators. 4 Land Raiders. We have 1 regular Land Raider, 1 Land Raider Redeemer, and 2 Land Raider Crusaders. 10 Sanguinary Guard. 11 Scouts. Going on to the HQs or other characters. We have Dante, a couple versions of Dante there. Sanguinor, Tycho, one of the versions of Tycho. Captain, or Brother Corbulo, rather. We have Mephiston in there. We have a bunch of Sanguinary Priests with and without jump pack. And we have Captains and Librarians. Moving on to the Flesh Terrors, we have 10 Assault Marines and 20 Marines. Lamenters, a couple thousand points here, starting with the Assault Marines. Got a stack of them, 20 in total, and then we have Assault Terminators. Predators in the back, a couple Land Speeders, Land Raider Redeemer. Now for the characters, we have Terminator Captain, we have some Death Company Chaplains. The one in the back there is actually Lamartes, but he's going to switch over to be a Lamenter for this video. And these assassins were painted up to be part of the army. So when we're talking about Blood Angels and we're talking about their gameplay, the lore, or the models, out of the 3, I would say my favorite has got to be the gameplay, because I love how fast they are. They are just, and I know they're not necessarily the fastest that exists out there, but because I love the lore so much, I gravitated towards the models. And so that allowed me to enjoy their gameplay and still enjoy their backstory and the lore behind them whenever I played with them. So, but first and foremost, it would be the gameplay and how it feels to maneuver them on the battlefield and how fast they can. I love playing with Assault Marines and fast tanks. It's just a fun feeling. And at the time when I started collecting them, in my mind, it was what Khorne was supposed to be. And that's always where it originated from. So I'm really a Khorne player vicariously playing through Blood Angels because they're the closest to what they could be if they were that in another sense. So, but I love them for being them. So that they are second nearest and dearest to my heart when it comes to the armies that I love collecting and playing with. So why Blood Angels as opposed to just your regular vanilla Space Marines? At the time that I started collecting them, which was 6-7 years ago, I remember they came out with a new updated version of them. They updated the codex. And so I thought, at the time, I was only collecting Chaos at the time, and I wanted to collect a new army, and I thought it was a perfect timing and excuse to start collecting Space Marines without collecting Space Marines, because vanilla Space Marines didn't speak to me the same way that Chaos did first, and that something else would. And this was new at the time, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to collect this. I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have a different army that I'm collecting and doing battle reports for, and I want to see how they play. So at the time it was, they're new, I'm going to collect them, and then through playing with them and collecting and doing a vlog series of building upon the army at the time, it was fun. The love, that's when the love affair started, and that's when we started to do many battles on the beach. The beaches of all the death and skulls and the rivers of blood that came in on the shore. I kid you not. There is a reason that the Blood Angels are red. And for those of us who know, we know. For those of us who don't know, we need to find out why they're red. I'm not going to tell you in this video. This you'll need to learn on your own. And once you do, there's a very good chance you'll become a Blood Angel. Grabbing stories of lore and I would say my favorite story that comes to mind is the one where I forget the name of the captain. It's the name of the captain eludes me, but the story is cool, and I used it for a battle report for a scenario one time. And that's where, because they have the red thirst, because they have this inner need to want to unleash chaos, is what I call it, right? They have to suppress this, right? And so the captain, what he does is when he recruits new Marines, he brings them to different planets, and he basically unleashes them, and he lets them fully embrace the red thirst, not necessarily to make them go crazy, but to hone in on it. It's kind of like Batman, how he went into the cave and the bats swirled around him, and even though he was really afraid of them, it's like that. They had the red thirst, they fully embraced it, they fully felt it, and they unleashed on the orcs. It was the orcs at the time. They were practicing or training on the orcs and just completely overcoming and controlling this red thirst that they have. My favorite models in the army have got to be the Death Company, because they are close combat beasts, and they deal a lot of damage, and they feel very good about it when they do. When they do what they were meant to do, which is deal loads of damage, I feel good, and they feel good. They tell me afterwards how good they feel as they celebrate, and it's fun to watch them. I've made videos about it that I haven't shown anyone. So let me recall, back in the days of 5th edition, I remember playing with Mephiston, because at the time he was a beast. Disputably, he was overpowered. So that because he was so strong, he'd have one-hit kills, and he was this little guy that could unleash devastation. And it was just fun seeing the look on the opponent's face when they saw him on the battlefield, and would be like, okay, all right, good game. He's arrived. So I think that's the way it's going to go. And even just that psychological tactic alone was fun to bring him. He was expensive, but it didn't matter. It was fun kind of doing that. Sometimes he didn't do anything in the game. He was just there, and people were like, oh, I got to stay away from him. Like, okay, that's fine. He'll stay on the objective. He will not be bothered. Some Blood Angel specific units, such as the Sanguinary Guard, historically they've been more costly than other units, and so I don't typically bring them as much, but when I do, they do well for what they're doing. And I especially like bringing them with Dante, because they're like his retinue, and they protect him. Well, in previous editions of the game, they protected him. Now it's just bring it for cool factor, because it fits. But and they look cool. Like, when we're playing the game, this is how I play. I play rule of cool first off, because I like how stuff looks. And then I try to build a narrative off of what I'm doing, and then it's looking at the stats of the model to see what they can do. So I don't care as much about demolishing my opponent. I care more about telling a fun story and seeing stuff come right down to the wire and seeing a good battle on both sides. What to add to this army? What could we add to it? What do I think is lacking? Well, I could always use more of everything. But specifically, I think Primaris Marines would help to flesh it out, in addition to the flesh tears. I did not just give a dad joke. Those are bad. We don't want to do those. Even though I am a dad of 3 Nurglings, not Blood Angels, that'd be different. We'd be a family of vampires at that point. So why do I love Blood Angels? Well, because they're pretty much chaos in Space Marine form, and they move fast, and they like to drink blood, which I've done at least once in my life. There's video documentation of this. And that's really why I love Blood Angels, is because they aren't afraid to unleash the rage, which is something that we must do in order to be healthy from time to time. Not all the time, because that's unhealthy, but a little bit of the time. Got some black rage in there. Just throw it. Just throw it out. In the middle of traffic, just throw it out, and it's good. Those are the reasons why I love Blood Angels. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please do leave your comments below. Let me know why you like Blood Angels. I want to know if the reasons are the same and if they're even close to being similar. And in the link in the video description below, we'll include battle reports in the MiniWarGaming vault to Blood Angel batreps. And if you're not a vault member, we encourage you to become a vault member, because that's how we do what we do. That's how Cullen gets to do what he does. He's behind the camera, by the way. And that's how we function as a business and are able to make more content for you guys. So thank you very much for being vault members to those vault members. And click on that link below to watch more Blood Angel footage, because it's a coming. You're going to get more. Thank you.